Hooray! We're here. It's live.
We are live.
Yes. So, what are we talking about that? But if you don't, then you can check out more at sowtheseedsretreats.com. There's a link in the description bar. And yeah, so we're really excited because we want to share a special guest that's going to be joining us. We haven't announced our guests until this moment. So this is the first announcement. Dr. Tiffany Lester will be joining us on the retreat. Hooray! Woo! Applause!
So excited.
Yes, we're really excited to have you. Before we do that, Danielle, is there anything we should share about the retreat before we jump into why Tiffany's amazing and why we're excited to have her?
Yeah. So the retreat is going to be in Ubud, Bali, Indonesia, and it's a manifestation women's retreat. So when we think about manifestation, of course, everybody has, their own ideas of what manifestation is. And so I'd like to take a little bit of time to share about our process for manifestation and what we mean when we say manifestation and manifesting things into our lives. So, we could say, oh, I want to manifest a car, just for the sake of manifesting a car, right? That's one thing. And we're less interested in that than we are interested in manifesting from a space of purpose. So our process really is about getting super clear on who we are and what our purpose is. So how do we get clear on who we are? We have to remove all of the things that, what I call the muck, all of the things that are the muck, the things that are not who we are at our core. And so from the very beginning, we're peeling back the layers, we're removing these masks so that we can see exactly who we're destined to be and who we are at our core, so that we can see, oh, that's who I am. That's what my purpose is. Well, let me start to call things into my existence and into my experience from this place. So there's a lot more intentionality behind the manifesting that we're doing. And what's so beautiful about this dynamic duo is that Karlene and I really represent a singular brain. So I'm more of the right side of the brain, and I'll provide a lot of support emotionally, spiritually, and Karlene comes in, and as we take off these masks and get really, really clear on who we are and what we're calling into our lives, she helps pull these really esoteric concepts down to earth and systematize them so that we can continue these processes beyond the retreat, so that it's really a sustainable practice and not just something that feels good, but something that we're actually equipped to implement in our everyday lives. And that'll be the focus. That's the heart of the manifestation retreat. And we're going to be in a beautiful place like Bali. So of course, we're going to have excursions. We're going to explore the island and really just commune and be together in sisterhood.
Yeah, that sums it up really well to me. What's interesting is that before I even really had a good grasp of what manifestation was, I knew that I needed to be around people who were more like-minded, people who were committed to growth, who were exploring life from different perspectives, who were willing to be adventurous. And that led me to Bali the first time, which is actually where I met Tiffany. So there's just been so many full circle moments around Bali in general, but also like the people that have been attached to it, all the things leading up to it have just been like confirming that this is right. This is in alignment with my purpose. And so it's interesting just seeing where purposes converge. So that's really fun. Tiffany.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I feel like I haven't seen your face in too long, but I will settle for the screen. Really excited to have Tiffany join us, not just because she's my friend and has been a great friend for, when did we meet? That was 2013?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be 5 years this year. Whoa. I feel like have have a party or something. Like have a cookie.
Yeah. We were friends from we were friends from like day one though.
Yeah, we really were.
Yeah. Which is always such a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Danielle and I share a similar story. So how do you describe yourself? How do you describe what you do?
That's always a great question. I get asked a lot what I do. And sometimes when I tell people, there's like, it's like blank look over their face. They're like, that sounds interesting, but I don't really know what you're talking about. So, I mean, I live in San Francisco, where I run a part of a bigger company called Parsley Health, which is a medical practice. And it's really, I think, the medicine of the future, but at its core, it's more of a functional medicine practice, or people heard the word integrative medicine. And it's really just combining like conventional medicine, plus like nutrition and wellness and mindfulness all in one, because that's really what health is. It's all of those things. It's not just going to the doctor and getting a prescription. And so that's what I do every day. And it's been amazing. I've been in San Francisco almost 2 years now. And we have other offices in New York and LA. And so, it's been a really great experience to manage a team and lead a practice versus just being a doctor. And it's given me opportunity to also, be more community focused. And so while it's great to see people one-on-one, and I love to help people that way, whether it's things like this or, writing an article or going to different conferences, I think just connecting with people on a broader scale, because everybody doesn't live in San Francisco or can't afford to like come see me. And so that's what I'm really passionate about, is like offering wellness advice, even though it can't be super personalized. But I think even just those little things and tidbits can really help people. So that's a little about me and like what I do, and I love it.
Yes, and from my perspective, you're really good at it. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, you're literally, I'm like, Tiffany, I'm feeling tired. I need a supplement.
What should I do?
Yes. So one thing I know from traveling with you, not just in us meeting in Bali, but we've also traveled together. And I think we're due for another trip. But
yes, overdue.
You always have like the best supplements or tips and tricks. I'm always like peeking over your shoulder to see what's in your bag, and would love to share some of that with our audience, because there are some people who are maybe new travel, even if you're an experienced traveler. Like I feel like I travel fairly frequently, and I want to know what's in your bag. Spill the tea.
I know. I can't give away all of my secrets. But yeah, I think it depends on definitely like where I'm going. If I'm just going home to visit my parents or to see friends in the States versus if I'm traveling to Bali or like out of the country, it's definitely different. And I really still love to like experience the culture of where I'm going and the different foods. And I think there's a way to do that, but still, like maintain your own health goals. And so for me, I mean, one of the things I always like to pack is I'm a big tea person. And I just don't trust other people's teas for some reason. So that's a really big thing. And I always try to use like organic, and I usually have some for like the mornings, like a green tea, which has tons of antioxidants and gives me a little bit of pep without having coffee, even though coffee can be great too. And then I always have one that I like use for sleep, because when I travel to new places and the different time zone, like that really helps kind of reset me and is a grounding force, because that's what I usually do at home. And so just having that kind of little piece at home, and they're easy to travel with, use it, discard it, makes your bag a little lighter on the way back home, so you can pick up some little extra things.
Tiffany, what kind of tea for sleep? Is there a particular brand, or are there particular things you look for?
I mean, I really think organic is important. There's like the tea leaves. And so often you'll see like on the package, it'll say organic, but then people don't often think about like the tea bags and making sure that that's like biodegradable. Cause then it's like, you're still getting all of that, you're soaking it in hot water. And so you can still be like ingesting those toxins, which is not great for your health. It can make you feel worse, especially when you're traveling and your sleep and your eating schedule is already kind of a little bit off. So My favorite brands are probably Numi, Reishi, and traditional medicinals. So those are the three that I trust wherever I am, even if I like run out or, don't have time to like pack them. Those are my three favorite.
What kind of tea do you pack or do you use for sleep?
I usually like a blend. I mean, I think with traditional medicinals, they have like a sleepy time blend. Otherwise, I just use chamomile. So
Okay.
chamomile is like a go-to. It has glycine in it, which is a neurotransmitter that like really helps us like dip into that restorative sleep.
I already learned a new thing.
Amazing.
I was like, I knew chamomile was good for sleep. Now I know
But
why. And I'd love to know why. Awesome. So I know sleep is one of your things.
Mhm.
And I am just wondering if you have any like jet lag tips or what do you got? What do you do, especially for thinking particularly about Bali, going for most people on the other side of the world?
Yeah.
How do they navigate that?
So I really like to take melatonin when I travel. It's not something I take every night. But melatonin is the easiest, quickest way to like reset your circadian rhythm. And so what I do is I take a supplement. You don't need a lot. You just need like 1.5 to 1 milligrams. And you take it on the time zone at the bedtime that you're going to. And then obviously every night when you go, and then the reverse on the way back.
Do you do that before you leave or?
I usually start when I'm like on the plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Good to know.
So
anything we should look for in terms of a brand, or maybe even not a specific brand, but just like quality things we should look for when choosing melatonin? Or
yeah, I mean, for supplements are not regulated, for better or for worse, and so people kind of put whatever in anything. So I always try to look for companies that use a label like USP or NSF. So that's what you want to look for if you're not getting a supplement from a doctor or some kind of other health practitioner that you can trust. And then otherwise, it depends. So there's like sublingual melatonin, which kind of goes under your tongue and dissolves, or it's a liquid. So that's like if you need to fall asleep really quickly, versus like a capsule or a tablet if you need to like stay asleep. So usually when I'm traveling, I'll do like the capsule because I like sleeping on planes. It's like not my forte. It's like uncomfortable. So I usually do that when I'm traveling, but sublingual can help too. If you're like, have some really noisy neighbors on the plane and you're like, I need to go to sleep right now. So yeah, that's probably my favorite supplement. And then I think, I always have like a sleep mask and earplugs because I think you just never know. And especially even if you're staying with like friends and everybody has kind of like different schedules, and that to me, that's the easiest way to be like, I know I'm going to get sleep. I don't know what the like blind situation is going to be and if the light's going to wake me up. And that's been like a game changer for me.
That is already super helpful. Like things that I kind of knew about, kind of knew melatonin worked. I don't usually have a hard time sleeping in my day-to-day life, but when it comes to, like you said, it comes to travel, especially traveling to Bali, it's going to be a long flight. It's a lot of travel time. You're crossing over many time zones. So that is a really helpful tidbit for sure.
Yeah, I'll bring melatonin for everybody. I'll just have a melatonin party.
That's so awesome.
How do you feel about these recommendations? Is that they're all really easily accessible and relatively affordable, and so that is that's just so helpful, because sometimes people offer recommendations, but it may be really difficult to access, and it's like you can just go to your local store and find these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that probably melatonin and magnesium are my two supplements I always travel with.
I was just about to ask you about magnesium.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. We're in sync. I love it.
Yeah.
Magnesium. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that magnesium, it's like this most magical mineral. It's one of my favorites. It's truly magical. I think it depends on where people get confused is like what type of magnesium based on what you're treating. And so you really want to take for sleep and just kind of like anxiety, if you're having any anxiety, or just to kind of relax your body and your muscles, especially if you've been traveling, like sitting in a seat for 12 hours, is magnesium glycinate. So that really helps. You need like 200 to 400 milligrams. It's also, super inexpensive and just helps to like calm your nervous system in a really easy way. And most people are deficient in it. So it's not like you're going to get too much. Even if you don't know your levels or haven't, had a chance to go to a doctor and have your levels checked, like most people are safe to take it.
Okay. Good to know.
So yeah, those are always in my bag.
Yeah, that's one of the few supplements that I keep stocked. Definitely handy. Let's see. Oh, essential oils. You always got a little kit.
I do.
I always have peppermint oil because you never know if you're going to be nauseous, if something's going to be smelly. And I don't know, was that with you in Paris?
Yes.
Girl. The subway. The metro is very convenient, but you just never know what you never know.
You never know. Yeah. I know. I was like, what are you pulling out, Karlene?
If you ever see me like this, then you know. Yes. What else do you think, especially is good for travel? Like peppermint oil is good for me, but what else?
No, I think peppermint oil is a great one, especially just for different smells. I really like peppermint oil to rub. I mean, I tend to get a lot of like neck tension because I'm on the computer and just like sitting a lot in my job. And so I will rub it there. It's great for headaches as well on your temples. So like that's really good. The other ones I usually travel with, I mean, I like sage. I don't have any like relationship with them. That's just what I currently use. And they have a lot of blends. Yeah. So, and they have a little like pocket pharmacy that I like to travel with because they have one for gut. So sometimes when you travel and you're eating foods that you might not normally, your body might not be used to, which is like totally fine. And traveling is a part, just like, immersing yourself in that culture and experimenting. But then you like still have to go home and deal with your digestion. And so that can really help if you eat something that maybe doesn't agree with you. Because they have like a gutsy blend. And then they have one that I really like called Cleanse. Okay. So that I don't know the blend of it, but I'll rub it like along my neck, along my lymph nodes, especially if I feel like if I'm not getting enough sleep or just like up, and it just helps to boost my immune system, which also can get kind of out of whack when you travel.
Sweet.
And nobody has time to be sick.
No.
Enjoying. No.
Yeah.
I have a question on the note of food and eating.
Yeah.
Particularly in the airport. I'm a foodie. Food is one of my love languages.
Same.
Like airport food is like it's just
the worst.
Yep. And so what are your hacks? What are your tricks in terms of like bringing snacks and like being able to sustain on a long haul flight and having snacks and food that is actually nourishing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, Karlene has seen my bag of goodies. I'm like, I know this like above the like carry-on purse minimum. I'm just gonna tuck this in here and like keep it moving. Because I always have to have snacks. I mean, I think there are some airports, and I mean, I'm lucky enough to live in San Francisco, where I know if I'm flying out, there's some really good resources if I don't have time to grab something. But usually my staples are protein bars, certain protein bars. They're all not created equal. And I usually don't have those in my like day-to-day life, but they're excellent for travel. And you just want to try to make sure you eat one or get one that doesn't have more than 6 to 10 grams of sugar, I would say, which can be hard to find.
And what's your go-to brand?
I mean, when I travel, I like RX bars or Quest. Some of the Kind bars, but some of them can be super high in sugar. So those are my go-tos, and they're pretty widely available, I think, to most people across the country. But still not something I would like eat every day, you know?
Gotcha.
So I'll do that. I usually will pack like an apple and some like almond butter in the little packets. Sometimes I'll pick up a bag of like popcorn in the airport, like that doesn't have all the like cheese and caramel and all that, but just like plain popcorn. So that can be pretty simple. What else do I pack? I usually pack some nuts, usually macadamia nuts or almonds, because that's just my favorite. But walnuts are great, especially for like brain health. Just depends on your taste buds. Depending on where I'm going, I will pack like actual food from my house. So, and I tend to like a lot of like healthy fats because it just helps me feel better when I'm traveling for that long. So,
because everyone may not necessarily know what you mean when you say healthy fats. Can you give
oh
us
yeah.
and share?
Like, this is my world. Like healthy fats are like nuts, avocados, coconut oil or ghee, olive oil. So, you know, that I will have and travel, and I'll have like a little like chicken salad, and I'll have olive oil drizzle over it, and pick up some chips, which aren't necessarily the healthiest, but it's like a good kind of travel thing. And the salt can help actually, just help you retain water when you're traveling, because traveling is so dehydrating. So yeah, that's all really important, especially when you're sitting for like long periods and you want to keep everything just, lubricated and flowing and like keep your joints healthy. So I always have some sort of like healthy fat with me.
Super cool. That's really helpful. I'm like,
oh, good.
Coming up with my
making a list.
No, really, I'm gonna watch this back. I make a list.
Okay, I'm gonna be present, and then when it's done, I'm gonna watch the replay.
Right. Yeah, because I think it's, for me, like I love to travel, but I also want to maintain my own, health and not get sick. And, we all have each different health goals, but I think it's important to plan. And it doesn't involve like a ton of planning, but just have like your go-tos at whatever it is that works with like your taste buds and what you specifically need. And then once you like have your kind of like travel kit, then you're good, and you just have your go-tos, and that's what you get, and you're ready to go.
Super cool. Any other like last minute recommendations, or not last minute, any other final recommendations for what you throw in your bag? Any supplements, anything I didn't think to ask you?
I mean, for me personally, I like to be comfortable. So for me, it's like fuzzy socks. We already talked about essential oils. For me, it's really important, like what I wear on the plane. I think all of those things like really make a difference in how you feel when you get off of the plane. And they can seem kind of like small and superficial, but it all plays together and is super important. So that would be my only thing, just to like be a little bit more mindful. Because sometimes I see people, traveling, and I'm like, why is there like, you seem so uncomfortable. I'm like, you're about to like sit for 12 hours. I'm like, I'm all for being cute, but like, you can still like be cute and comfortable. So
Tiff, because so many women who are joining us, this is like their very first international trip. And so can you kind of go into detail about like an ideal, like what would you wear? So for example, when you're speaking, the first thing that comes to mind is like, I know I get cold on planes. So I'm doing lots of layers, right? And so for me, that's what comfort means. But I have a little bit of context to be able to pull from what you're saying. Can you go into a bit more detail about what you mean when you say you dress comfortably?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's usually either yoga pants, because I know wherever I'm going, I'm going to be doing yoga. So I might as well wear those on the plane. I always bring like socks. I like to take my shoes off because I think it just helps, be a little bit more comfortable. And then I always have a scarf, aka like a big scarf blanket. that like does double duty. And then also lots of layers because it can be hard. Like I'm going to Dallas tomorrow and I looked at the weather, and so in San Francisco, it's like a nice 60 degrees. In Dallas, it's like 100 right now. And so it's like, okay, how do I like navigate this and just having those layers so I don't get off the plane and like I'm sweating buckets. So I think for me, it's, you know, super casual. I usually have on sneakers or something I can like easily like slip on and off super quick. If I'm going somewhere cold, like some Uggs. I mean, I'm all about like comfort, and, you know, it doesn't have to be like cashmere, but just like your favorite silky, fuzzy scarf is enough. And like, you know, a t-shirt and some yoga pants. And so you can still be like put together no matter what's going on, even if you don't have time to like go home and change when you get off the plane. But I think that that's super important. So a little bit depends on where you're going, but yeah, layers, which I have learned to master living in San Francisco with all the different microclimates, is like so essential. But it can be easy. It's just like a few things, you know, and just reuse, recycle.
I love that. That's great. I have two more questions for you.
Yeah.
One, so, you know, when I've been on international flights, I've seen, or just long haul flights, I've seen people, particularly seniors, like getting up and walking back and forth down the aisles. Is that something that you recommend? And are there certain signs that, you know, we may see in our body that let us know, okay, I should get up and walk?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was, I don't know when this was, a couple years ago, they were like sitting is the new smoking. I think we all kind of like battle with that, even if we're not on a plane. But yeah, I think getting up, if you can, depending on how long the flight is, at least every 3 to 4 hours, even if it's just to like go to the bathroom and walk around. I also like to travel with these like yoga therapy balls. If you've seen them. I have them. Oh, I think I have some here. I keep some in my office because I sit so much. So they're like these like balls, and they're kind of like the size of tennis balls, but they're a different consistency. And so they're super easy to travel with, and like you can sit on them, like even in your seat, and it helps to open up your hip flexors, and just feels really good. And you can kind of roll around a little bit. It looks funny, but like, who cares? And then I usually like to, when I get off the plane and I get to like wherever I'm going, then I will use them in my like hotel room, and I'll just get on the floor and like rub them down my spine, because that's usually the tightest for me, and just kind of open that up. It's really like heart opening and kind of reset your nervous system. So yeah, these are my favorite.
I love that. And they're called yoga therapy balls.
Yoga therapy balls are like half a pound. Like it's not going to like put you over the limit for your luggage. And it's like a self massage. And so I know Bali has amazing massages, which I hope we will be doing, but you know, if you're not going to Bali or anywhere and you just like feeling like tight, which is usually what people feel after they have flights, is you can just bust this out. You don't need any special equipment. Doesn't cost $100. You know, these are like $10 and you have them forever and they go anywhere.
So awesome. You had another question, Danielle? Or
yes, one final question. So I'm thinking about hydration, right? And I know you spoke a little bit to this, but is there a particular hack that you have, or just like general rule of thumb, to really be on top of staying hydrated when flying?
I don't know if I have a specific like hack. I think it's just like drinking more water. I try to drink like an 8-ounce bottle before I get on the flight. And then sometimes I will travel with a little like chlorophyll dropper. So chlorophyll is like that green pigment that's in like vegetables. And so it comes in a liquid. And so that can really help, you know, because you're going through like the screening and that it still exposes your body to some radiation. I mean, it's a little bit, but it still is. And then when you're on the plane, like you're getting exposed to all the fumes. And so a lot of times I will, once I get past the airport, I'll buy another bottle of water and then add a few chlorophyll drops. So it makes the water a little green, but it doesn't taste like anything, just to help my body detox and like be super hydrated. So yeah, I forgot about that hack that I did.
I'm sure if you think of any others, text me, email me. Yeah, definitely need to follow these things. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have a lot to digest.
Okay.
In like a good way. Like I'm really excited, actually.
Good.
I feel like I had kind of gotten to a place where I was like, I guess I kind of know the travel hacks, like know how to keep your money safe, stuff like that. But this is like gotten me excited about international travel all over again. So I'm excited. Okay, so where can we find out more about you for people who want to get more tips like this? Because I know you have some pictures of like stuff in your bag on Instagram.
Yeah, I do. I would say I mostly live on Instagram right now. And so I'll often share just like things in my life or little tips throughout the day that I don't necessarily have time to like write a blog post about. So that's the best way. And then I also have a website. So my Instagram is Dr. Tiffany Lester, and that's the same as my website. So people can find me there, and yeah, that's right.
And articles and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was really, really awesome.
Can't wait. I'm so excited to see you guys again in person.
Yes. Hopefully even before Bali, but definitely Bali, that's going to be a great time. Oh, so if you are interested in attending the retreat and you don't know about it and you have more questions, you can check out sowtheseedsretreats.com and the information will be there. And also if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at hello@sowtheseedsretreats.com. That's our email address. And then of course we're on Instagram, and I'll put all of the details, contact details in the description. I think that's everything.
Awesome. All right. Bye, ladies.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.